One.
Good evening, everyone. Adequate notice of this meeting was provided by sending such notice to the Asbury Park Press, the Middletown Patch, and the Middletown Township Public School District website, and the posting of such notice at the August T. Minor Administrative Offices at each elementary, middle, and secondary school in the district. Roll call.
Mrs. Caminiti?
Here.
Mrs. Farley?
Here.
Mr. Fitzgerald?
Here.
Mr. Heffernan?
Here.
Mrs. Muniz?
Here.
Mr. Culp?
Here.
Mrs. Wright? Mrs. Tobacco?
Here.
Mr. Crum?
Here. Need a motion for exec session for matters of presidency, pay appeal, if update, October SSDS, and personnel matters.
So moved.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? It's the other one. Good evening, everyone. Please stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, this evening I'm going to start with our high school enrolled student speaker, Aiden Cobiasiero.
Perfect. Good evening.
Good evening.
Our head of the Pride, our student and staff member of the Month Recognition Program, celebrates excellence and serves as our school community's foundation. The award winners from November include Julie Brown and Haley Yaniswana for our 9th grade. For our 10th, Miranda LaFavor and Evelyn Serene. Our 11th graders, Carmen Silveris, Hannah Ricker. Lastly, our 12th graders are Luke Sheehan and Maddie Cercio. Again, sorry if I missed them out. Our staff member is Miss Baz Meiji. It's a Wonderful Life, a live radio play, our fall play, was a monumental success. The performance was amazing, and the storyline kicked off the holiday season across our campus. The North Pole, a traditional holiday youth event in our media center, was held on Saturday, December 16th. It featured pictures with Santa, seasonal crafts, and refreshments for the children of our community. A representative from the Monmouth County Vocational School District presented information about the available shared time programs for sophomores during an assembly this morning. Our choir visited Thorn and Bayshore today, performing holiday songs, spreading cheer, and promoting the program. The winter band and choir concert, which was performed on Tuesday, December 12th, was well attended. The seasonal decorations were amazing, and the performance was fantastic. Members of our student government organized an elf event for the Lions Club program, visiting Miss Tooley's preschool classroom in elf costumes and distributing candy canes and special gifts for our youngest learners. Following a successful fall season, several of our outstanding athletes earned prestigious accolades. These include Lana Woods, Gabriella Wilton, Alexandra Goins, and Evelyn Seri for our field hockey all-division. And our football all-division stars include Luke Sheehan. Luke also earned Offensive Player of the Year. Ian Morgan, Dylan Briggs, Andrew Tomaltich, Thomas Randolph, Tristan Soto, Nino Morgan Acker, Brody Tucker, Brian Delevy, Joe Gracio, Michael Dwyer, Kayleigh Spearman Young, Brian O'Donnell. Lastly, our All-Star Boys Soccer includes Josiah Stephanie, first team, Ryan Berneo, first team, and Landon Terrell as second team. Olivia Igebro and Sophia Annenbaum won Best Concept Award. Haley Bryan and Brooklyn Strepp won Best Horror Short Award at the Northeast Horror Film Festival for their original projects. The 2023-2024 Teacher of the Year is Mr. Brett Laskowitz. The 2023 to 2024 Educational Service Provider of the Year is Nurse Fran Taylor. We are grateful for the positive influence and immeasurable contributions throughout the school community. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, Aiden. Okay, we're now going to turn to High School South, Ms. Sophia Haskell.
Good evening. I'm Sophia Cascone, and I'm speaking tonight on behalf of Jake Dombrowski, who cannot be here today. First of all, we would like to congratulate Coach Bill Clifton for being named the Cross Country Coach of the Year. Secondly, Middletown High School South sophomores traveled to the Trenton Barracks to learn more about the American Revolution. Students watched musket demonstrations, were given information about smallpox inoculations, and had the full Battle of Trenton explained to them. Middletown High School South debate team. had 4 teams travel to Biotech High School to compete against 30 other teams. The top placing team finished 9th and has been invited back for playoffs this Friday, and most importantly, finished ahead of Middletown High School North. Captains Lily Oldershaw, Madison Chief, Andre Caldezilla, and Brian Munfler led their teams, and freshman Patrick Dimitri had a standout performance. Mrs. Nagy, the peer leaders advisor, and Mrs. Pecacaro, the student assistant coordinator, collaborated to train peer leaders in delivering an important message about the risks of vaping to the freshman advisory classes on Friday, December 15, 2023. The outreach also included healthy alternatives and available resources to students. 39 South students have recently been accepted to South's chapter of the Science National Honor Society. These students have met the following criteria for membership: completed and currently enrolled in honors/AP level science courses, maintained at least a 3.5 GPA in their honors/AP level science courses, and a 3.0 cumulative GPA. Lastly, the winter sports season is underway with over 350 students competing in basketball, wrestling, ice hockey, bowling, swimming, indoor track, and competition cheerleading. The hockey team defeated crosstown rival Middletown North 4-2 in front of a capacity crowd to open their season on December 7th. Junior bowler Caitlin Malzarski recorded a perfect game of 300 in the girls bowling team win over Monmouth Regional earlier this month. The boys and girls basketball teams will both be competing in the WOBM Christmas Classic in Toms River over winter break. The ice hockey team will travel to the Ice Ball Classic in Wayne for 3 games over the break, while the wrestling team will attend the Sam Cali Classic at Fairleigh Dickinson University on December 27th and host the Walter Woods Invitational at South on December 30th. Thank you.
Thank you, Sophia. Okay, I'm now going to hand it off to Amy for the presentation of a word of gratitude to outgoing board member Mr. Harmony Heffernan.
So tonight is the last meeting that we will have Mr. Heffernan on our board for now. As the board secretary, on behalf of the board and the administration, we just want to thank you for all of your efforts and service. It's been a challenging time to be a board member. You came on during the pandemic and we got through that, and moving forward now to new challenges, and you were there through it all, and we all appreciate your service. We do have a plaque for you. I'm going to bring on.
Thank you very much. Nice.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Okay, we now have a presentation of the June 30th, 2023 Annual Comprehensive Financial Report. Mr. Brian Waldron from Holman, Freeland, and Allison.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Again, my name is Brian Waldron. With Holman, Freeland, and Allison. I'm partnered with the firm. I've been working on the account for many years now. It feels just like a few months ago that I was here giving a report on the 6/30/22 audit because of how delayed we were with some information from the state, not from the school district. But I'm happy to report that we are here for the first time before the end of the actual calendar year, probably since 2016. So the state is slowly improving on some of the information that we're getting. So we're happy to be here before the holidays. I'm just going to give a very high-level overview of the financial statements. Amy and her team had done a very thorough deep dive into the financials. I'm sorry, I'm sounding very loud here. I apologize. And so I'm just going to go over a few of our opinions that we offer. The most important that we have is our independent auditor's report. That opinion is stating that all of the financial statements are materially stated in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles, government auditing standards, and any requirements by the Department of Education. That's an unmodified opinion. That's a fancy word for a clean opinion. It's the best opinion that we can render to the school district. And there are no findings or recommendations in the audit. So a very clean audit. So again, congrats to Amy, to her team, and to the board as well for that. Our second of 2 opinions is our report on internal control and compliance. Outside of all the information that we have to do from the state of New Jersey, we do a lot of internal control and compliance testing as well. And we have no issues of non-compliance to report on that. So no findings or recommendations there as well. And the third important opinion that we give to the school district is our internal control report on state and federal programs. Because the district receives a significant amount of money from the federal and state governments, which triggers what we call a single audit. So additional testing has to be done on those programs as well, outside of the regular testing from the DOE. This year we have tested the IDEA cluster and also the ARP ESSER monies, which are slowly running out. I know I'm sure that Amy will be happy when those finally get out. I think that 2024 is the last year that those funds will start to run out, so your next fiscal year. But a significant amount of testing goes into that as well, compliance requirements, and no formal findings or recommendations on those as well. So again, clean, no comments or recommendations as far as that. On a high level for your general main operating fund, the district saw roughly about 2.5% increase in their revenues this year. The local tax levy was the basic 2% increase as has been. There was a significant amount of money increase from the previous year on federal sources related to, correct me if I'm wrong, Amy, one of the storms that we had, FEMA reimbursements from previous years that finally came in during the year. I forget which storm that happened to be, but.
Actually, a lot of that was even from the COVID reimbursements.
Okay. So you'll see a significant amount of money if you were to compare previous year to this year from federal sources there. But again, roughly a 2.5% increase on the revenue. In a very challenging time, we only saw about a 2.25% increase on expenditures, which is very difficult to do as well. So congrats to Amy and to her team for staying within the budget and really trying to maintain the budget as best we can in challenging times. We had a decrease to our a decrease to our overall fund balances this year, roughly $1.2 million, bringing us to a total of roughly $16.5 million, which is made up of various reserves, capital reserve, maintenance reserve. We have other unemployment reserves as well, and then we have our unassigned, which is basically the chunk of the remaining balances. It is a very healthy fund balance. We're roughly 11 to 12% of our operating budget. We like to say between a 10 and 20%. Anything less than that would be seen too lean. Anything above that might be seen as too much. So we're maintaining that, and Amy's doing a great job of maintaining the budget, with those parameters that she has. And the only other thing I would just draw attention to, if you were to compare, which I think Amy will be able to provide financial statements. So over a holiday break, if you're looking for things to do and go through about 200 pages, feel free to dive into it, and I'm sure that there's information that you might like to see. But we had a significant decrease in the service revenues from the federal and state governments on the cafeteria side. As many of you may have seen or known, the previous 2 years during our COVID years, there was a lot of, we'll call it free lunch that was given to all students outside of the free and reduced parameters that were in the past. So if you were to compare revenues from prior year, even the prior 2 years, you'll see a significant decrease on the federal reimbursement and the state reimbursements, and you'll see your reimbursable sales for students purchasing lunch and going back to the regular, I'll say, way of life. So just a swing in some of that there. So if you see comparisons, don't be too concerned as far as where that money was coming from. That's statewide. That's not just your district. So roughly about $2 million in our overall food service fund, which will be continued to use in those capacities for future purchases of equipment, upgrades to facilities, things of that nature. But again, a very strong and healthy fund balance in our cafeteria fund as well. I could sit up here and go through a lot more stuff. I just want to say a special thank you to Amy, to her team, Dan, who's been a great addition, Maureen, and the rest of the staff of putting up with us for a few months to get through all the information that we have. And there's a lot of information that goes into doing this audit. So personally, I'd like to thank them on behalf of my firm. I wish everyone happy holidays. And if there's any questions, I'd be happy to go through anything further.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, Brian, to you and your team. You've been great to work with. And I will attest to the fact that auditing firms across the state have been really pressured because the state has changed the timelines and information hasn't been coming out timely, so they've had a lot of things going through the public. So,
Always fun stuff.
yes.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Good job, Amy.
Okay, moving on to our committee reports. We're going to start with curriculum and instruction. Mrs. Farley. Yes, we did meet last week, but I think that most of the highlights from the meeting, actually, Mrs. Alphone is going to be covering her superintendent's report, so to not be repetitive, I will pass it along.
You got it. Student Services, Mr. Dull.
Thank you. I'll be brief. We met as well, the Special Services Committee as well on last week. A couple highlights. First, a reminder, and I believe Ms. Alphone's various updates tonight and in the coming weeks will share this with the school communities, but the Special Ed Parent Forum is going to be next month. That's an opportunity for families to meet and converse with the superintendent about all sorts of issues that affect that community. There'll be 2 sessions, one for elementary families on January 24th at 6:30 at the district's office, and for the secondary schools, middle and high school, on January 25th at 6:30 at the central office. So keep an eye out for those reminders when we get back to school after the break. And then also I'll just update, we reported at the last meeting that the committee and Middletown Friends of Diverse Learners and the administration had talked about, diving in and doing some work to expand social and extracurricular opportunities for special ed students. Administration has been great and receptive to that. They've already started meeting with all the members of the Special Services Department, curating lists of clubs and activities and things that are available and accessible to students in that community, and where we could, capitalize on that and improve on that. And they're starting to work on improving the communication channels and the ease with which those students can access those activities and know what's out there for them. So a lot of good stuff going on down that road, and we look forward to a lot more of that next year as well.
Thank you, Mrs.
Can I ask
Dull.
a question?
Sure.
Yeah. Is there any possibility, or is there discussion about having the meeting with the special ed parents during the day while the kids are in school? Or, because I think one of the complaints I've always heard is it's hard to get out at night to come to the board meetings. So.
Maybe we could see what it looks like at night and then hold a second one potentially during the day. Because I know there's also the reverse of that too, right? People that are working won't be able to come to the night, so.
Yeah. Okay, handing on to Mrs. Doherty, Finance and Facilities.
So our committee met last week, December 14th, went over a variety of topics. We did have representatives from Brown & Brown in, our health insurance broker, to review our health insurance program, our self-insured platform, and the trends and performance of that fund so far, and trying to get some idea of how it will shape up for next year's budget. We're going to get a little more information on this year's trends before we get an estimate from them, but we did also attach the presentation deck for the rest of the board to see if you're interested in looking at that. We had a few agenda items that are on the agenda this evening. One is the acceptance of school security grant funds. We completed the project that we were awarded through the NJDOE for cameras and window glazing and so forth. We are set to get reimbursement. We have to approve the acceptance of the funds. We have the Morris County Educational Services Commission approval for participation for a transportation route for a student we are financially responsible for who's attending an out-of-district placement. We have a adjustment of Title I salaries due to the promotion of a staff member from teacher to administrator, so we have to reallocate that. We also, it's actually under the superintendent's report, but we did cover it under finance. We have some really nice holiday news. We have the Veth family who has run the Richard Veth Scholarship Fund on their own for a number of years. They're going to be transferring the administration of that scholarship to the district. So in order to do that, they did give us an initial contribution to the scholarship fund of $27,000, and that we will continue to administer that scholarship for them. And we just have to approve the establishment of that fund. In addition, they also are donating $5,508 to be used for projects at the high school north baseball field in conjunction with the Diamond Club. So that will be dispersed according to the instructions that they've given, but it will be there for projects for the baseball field at high school north. So very generous of them, and we do appreciate that. We just went over the annual comprehensive financial report, and that is something that the board has to vote to accept. So that's on the agenda. As far as facilities goes, we talked about doing a presentation We have that slated in hopefully for February for the board and for the community about the current master facilities assessment and planning work that's taking place right now with our architect. It's in progress. So they'll give a progress update, and we'll start talking about some next steps of that process, hopefully in February. We also looked at some enrollment analysis information, looking at some historical enrollment data over the last 10 years or so, and then also looking back to 86, 87, and looking at trends there. We talked about the district had an energy audit performed by TRC Energy Services through the local government energy audit program, so that was funded by the state. So we were establishing baselines with that, and then we are able to use that audit to make adjustments to our operations to improve our energy efficiency and hopefully, save money on gas and electric. And so we'll continue to work on that with facilities. We also talked about the high school north track and turf project. We are just waiting for some proposals back on the drainage and site work from a few of the cooperatives that we're looking at. And our target is to be in a position to award the contracts at the next meeting. We also have a couple of other agenda items on for facilities. We have a truck purchase for 2 trucks that were in the budget. We need to refresh our vehicle fleet and facilities each year, little by little. So with equipment and all in, the cost is $151,000, which is on the agenda for this evening. And we are also approving a contract for the purchase of 2 rooftop units over at Ocean Avenue. We've been looking at doing this for a while. We actually tried another funding source to get some assistance with that. That did not pan out, but we were able to get the project approved through JCP&L's direct install program, which is really nice for the district because the total cost of the installed units is $223,000. But after the incentive from JCP&L of $178,000, our net cost is only going to be $44,652, and this has been something that's been needed for a while. So, I have to credit Adam Nassau, our facilities director, for pursuing that and getting that put in place. So, that's good news as well. So, that's it.
Thank you, Ms. Doherty. Moving on to co-curriculum, Ms. Kennedy, did you meet this month?
Yes, we met on December 7th. We met, and the co-curriculum meeting happened. We were informed that we have unified cheerleading right now. One team. We have a team for both schools. Unified cheerleading. We're hoping to have more teams in the future. We like to see that they're going to be cheering at some of the select basketball games within the district. We also have esports. All the esports are playing at the same level right now. So that's the 3 middle schools and the 2 high schools. Everything is operating the way it's supposed to be on esports. High School South, we were informed that High School South is forming a ski club. And the senior campus, as far as the senior open campus program, will be starting on January 8th. Does everybody remember what that's about? I'm going to talk about it too. Okay. The other thing is that, which I think is a great thing, and I'm hoping that the rest of the board does too, they're changing the academy, the Arts Academy, from Arts Academy to a pathway. It's going to open up more doors for our students, that they could go into the pathway instead of having to be just in the Arts Academy and just one way. That's it. That's all they could do. With the pathway, they have more choices. They can diversify, go in and out of different programs. So that's what we discussed at co-curriculum.
Thank you, Ms. Kennedy.
You're welcome.
We're now going to open the microphone up for public comment on agenda items only. If you have a public comment, please step forward, state your name for the record and address. Seeing no one stepping forward, I would wish to end the public comment and move forward. All right, I just want to say to the entire district, actually, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, and have a wonderful holiday season. And to my board, my colleagues up here on the board, to the administration, ending off this year, I want to say thank you very much for your passion and dedication for always doing what we feel is the best for our students in this district and staff members and families in Middletown. So thank you all very much. And now we're going to move on to Mrs. Alphonse, Superintendent Report.
Great, thank you. So I am going to talk about a couple of the items that were brought up tonight. We have some exciting restructures happening next year at the high school, and this came from direct feedback from our student population through my superintendent forums, as well as from our teaching staff members. So the first big change for next year will be the movement of the Arts Academy back to a pathway structure. And as Mrs. Caminetti had said a little bit, this will afford our students the opportunity in both high schools to be specified within the arts, but also have the ability to diversify and move not only within different areas of the arts, but also into other areas, because students who have a passion or an interest in the arts may certainly have passions and interests in other areas as well. This will not prevent our current Arts Academy students from completing their Arts Academy track, as those courses will still be offered. We are now opening them up to other students as well and dissolving the audition process. At the end of the day, whether students are in a pathway or an academy, they do both still get some kind of endorsement on their transcript. So it's really a nuance in not only the naming of what we're calling it internally, but also what we find to be a bigger benefit is the flexibility for students to have more opportunity within the arts and also outside of the arts. That's the first big change. The second big change that we're also equally as excited about is the establishment of an experience for our ninth graders as they come into high school for the first time. One of the biggest pieces of feedback that I took away from mostly our current ninth graders and some of our 12th graders who are leaving us is that 12th graders wish they had known more early on in their high school career in order to really structure their coursework, or if they were going to go into a shared time vocational program, if they had intention of not going into post-secondary education, but instead going into some type of vocation or workforce right out of high school. And our ninth graders expressed that when they came in, now they're a couple months into their experience, they were really clueless, for lack of a better word. And, you know, I own a clueless ninth grader myself, so I see it at home. And I think it's important for our ninth grade students to get their feet under them in some type of controlled situation where we really front load them with a lot of information that will be helpful for them in their 10th, 11th, and 12th grade years. Currently, we do allow students the opportunity to jump right into a pathway as a ninth grader, and we continuously get feedback that, you know, our eighth graders coming into ninth don't seem to grasp on to enough information to make an informed choice. And what we've come to conclude is that they're just not ready. They have no reference to what high school is until they get here. So what we want to do is shift our pathway start time to the sophomore year. Ninth graders will not be able to select participation in a pathway. They will take a structured foundation of courses that meet requirements. They will also have a full year course, which will combine a couple of our current ninth grade requirements. But the most important piece of that, it will include a component that has counselor involvement to plan forward for the next 3 years. And there will also be a series of ninth grade assemblies that will really focus on educating them from things like, what is a transcript? I had that conversation with my son a couple weeks ago. Like, what is a transcript? What does weighting on a grade mean? Things that we take for granted that we assume that they're going to know. I think this will set them up for success and give them a really solid foundation to make an informed choice moving forward for the remaining 3 years of their high school career. We will be rolling this information obviously out to parents. It really just applies to our incoming ninth graders. Kids that are already here will continue on their way in their pathway. Our Arts Academy students will be able to finish their coursework moving forward. Those courses will still be offered. The one thing is any South student who is going to North for the Arts Academy will be offered the opportunity to travel back to South if they wish to, or stay at North. So really, it will be up to them, and we'll meet with those students individually to determine, what that looks like for them. The other thing that I wanted to touch upon in regards to coursework is we are also at the same time reevaluating our middle school courses. Not our core courses, their requirements, but our elective cycles. If you recall, we amended the middle school schedule probably about 7 years ago at this point, and at that time, we rewrote new middle school electives, and the time has come for us to reevaluate those things because the standards have changed, our focuses have changed, and so we are going to be working with our middle school principals and have already started that process on reframing some of those middle school elective and activity arts courses. The structure of the schedule will not change, but how those courses are structured and what is included within will differ, and we'll roll that out as we get closer to scheduling for middle school later on in the winter, early into the spring. As Mrs. Caminiti also mentioned, we have been discussing this Senior Open Campus Initiative, and it's really, again, a product of those forums we held with our students. I held forums with high schoolers back in the fall, and from both high schools, they talked about this idea of seniors being able to leave campus during blocks 3 and 4 for a lot of reasons, independence, structuring time. A lot of them have fulfilled many of their graduation requirements. So, we started to have discussions administratively with both buildings, principals, with our Board of Education members, and we've also discussed this with our Middletown Police Department and the Chief of Police, and really have come up with a plan where we believe we're going to be able to provide our seniors this privilege to be able to leave campus during blocks 3 and 4. We are planning on starting this on January 8th. If everything goes well, our 2 administrators will be having meetings with the senior classes to lay out the process and also the expectation, because we are going to really be emphasizing the fact that this is a privilege, and with a privilege comes great responsibility that also can be removed if needed, for a lot of reasons. But we are excited. I think it's really important that things come out of these student forums and kids see that their voice matters. So when we can do things that we feel will enhance their experience, certainly we're dedicated to doing this. And, 2 of the things I discussed already have been direct results of feedback from our student population. So we're really excited to be able to do that. The last thing that I want to mention is that in January, the second meeting, not the reorganization meeting, but the later meeting in the month, we will be giving an update on our 5-year strategic plan. We are currently in year 4 of that, and we'll need to start the replanning process for a new strategic plan come 2025. But we will be updating the school community at the end of next month on, what has been accomplished through that strategic plan over the course of the last 4 years. Finally, I just want to take a moment, as Mr. Capone had mentioned, to wish the school community just a wonderful and restful holiday season. Often the end of the year, everybody's talking about new year, new start, new beginnings, and that's great, well and good. I think it's important, but I also don't want to minimize the importance of the look back and the reflection. My community update is scheduled to come out on Friday. I will be sending something to the school community, and it does just that. It's a compilation of all the amazing things that have happened in this district since January of last year. And I think it's a great time for us all to pause and reflect. And while, there's always challenges and struggles, there are so many wonderful and things that we should all be proud of that happen here every single day in the school community. So again, I just want to express my gratitude. It is really an honor and a privilege to serve the community and to be witness to all of the things that our students and our families contribute to not only the school, but the community at large. So thank you and happy holidays.
Thank you, Ms. Alford. Okay, now moving to approval of meeting minutes. I need a motion to approve exec session minutes November 20th and workshop regular voting meetings November 20th, 9A and B.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? We need a motion to approve 10A policy. It's the second reading of policy 5230, late arrival and early dismissal. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion to approve business office consent agenda 11A through J.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? We have motion to approve recommendation of superintendent of schools consent agenda 12A through M.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
I'm abstaining from
One
7.
second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
I'm voting on 12A, bullying. I'm voting yes for all of those that were unfounded and no for all of those that were founded.
Amy, you got that? Abstentions?
I'm voting to abstain on M personnel.
Oh, we're not on the line?
That was 12A for M.
Yes.
Okay.
Good. And now moving to old business. Anyone have old business to discuss, Ms.
I
Louise?
have a few old business things.
Okay.
I just want to say that I attended the North Christmas concert. It was exceptional. I hope that next year we can work on getting the dates for High School South sent to us, because I didn't have those dates. So by the time I found out about them, the concerts were over. So I would have really have liked to gone. I love going to those things. The kids at the concerts that I did go to were exceptional. I also attended the hockey game in memory of Mark Rosenblum, the North-South game. It was real memorable for me because I was not on the board at the time hockey in Middletown started, but I was an audience member. And I remember the pleas of all those gentlemen and dads that put this together. And they kept every single promise that they made. They funded that program until it was fully established and the board was able to take it over. They followed through on their contract, and it was one of the best things that I've seen. I've watched it grow since year one, and it was really nice to see all the people come back that helped make that happen. But I also think it was a great tribute to Mark Rosenblum, who was the original starter of that group. And I'm glad that they did that. I know it's going to be an every year memorial, and I think that all the students realize the benefits of, all the work that those parents put in to make a hockey club.
It's also a testimony
Yeah.
to the town working as a town, as one town. It wasn't north and it wasn't south. It was hockey. It was just hockey. And it was a beautiful, beautiful thing.
So for old business.
That's it for all.
Anyone else, old business? New business?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Okay, first what I would like to say, as a senior board member here, I was on the special education committee for like 15, 16 years. And it was always our goal to create things for our students. And it was great to hear co-curricular. We're finally getting around to where we can find more clubs to include our students, and that's a great thing. But even more so, we have a transition program in our district that we send our kids out to do internships on. And it's great that they get that experience, but sometimes at the end of it, there's no jobs for them. You know, they put all this work in and there's nothing for them at the end. So when we decided that we were going to do this transition program and hire our own students that are capable and willing to do the job, that was exciting. And I probably should apologize because I was a pain in the neck about it too, but with other board members. But this is the second person we've hired from within our transition program. Our students are so capable of holding these jobs. They just need to be given the opportunity to show us. And I think our district is in a lead by doing this. And I hope other school districts take this lead and they start these programs in their schools and they start hiring their students, because we are leading by example with this program. And I'm sure there's going to be many more opportunities for students in this transition program, because I know we're working with our food service company. Of course, everybody has to be trained. You just don't get that job because you're in there. You have to be trained and you have to show that you can do that job, and our students are doing exactly that. I couldn't be more prouder of our committee and administration for putting this through. So deep down, thank you so much for that. Everybody deserves the opportunity to show what they can do. And plus the fact so many jobs are opening, people aren't applying for them, and our kids want them. So they're going to work even harder to show us what they can do. And I think it's just a perfect example. So that's the first thing. I just have a few other housekeeping things. Thorne's gift auction is coming up on April 15th. They are looking for sponsors and they are looking for donations. So it's Christmas time, people. You know, if there are extra things around after Christmas and we need to donate them for gift baskets, we can contact thornmiddleschool@gmail.com. The gift auction is $95 a person. It includes dinner and tickets. It's a really nice event, so I hope we get more people to go. And this gives you plenty of time to sign up. It's not like a 2-week leeway. We have till April. Following that, North is also having one in February. I'll follow the information once they send it to me. I believe it's like the 23rd, somewhere around 23rd or 24th of February. So once that information comes out, I will send it. It's good to support our local schools. And if there are any other schools that are having events, my email's on the website. Just keep sending it to me and I'll keep announcing it for you. And then I would also like to, like Frank and Ms. Alphone, wish everyone a happy holidays, and especially my fellow board members, because it's always a pleasure. Barry, I would like to thank you for your service. It's been a pleasure working with you. I hope everybody has a great new year and takes the time to spend with your kids. Do some fun things, relax, talk to them, hang with them, and enjoy it. And I hope we all have a happy and healthy new year.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Okay, we're now going to open the microphone up for public comment. Anyone wishing to make a comment, please come forward, state your name and address to the record. We have two coming up.
Anyway, Espinos, from Middletown. Thank you, John, for announcing Thorne. I just want to correct the dates so that no one's mistaken. It's April 25th.
Oh, I have April 15th on my email.
Do you? Yeah, it's April 25th. So
That's tax day, Joe.
Tax day.
So I just wanted to correct that because
Thank you for that.
we're pushing more exact. So it's April 25th. The rest of the information is correct, but just wanted to make sure that everybody had the date. So thank you very much.
I hope that's not the same night as North.
It's not. We checked
Okay, good.
everything.
Close together?
Yeah, no.
Oh, no, yours is April.
Yeah,
that's
we
February.
checked all the schools to make sure.
Yeah, February 24th.
Hi, Pierre Safety at Shire Drive, Middletown. Just a few comments. Ninth grade restructuring, I think that's a great idea. I would just, if there was some way to include parents in workshops or something. We've, I know at South, we've requested to change some of the meetings, like, you know, college information for juniors. We're too late, you know? So it's amazing how much there is out there, and parents aren't aware at all. So if you can include parents in that, I think that'd be helpful. Ship sailed for me already. On clubs, I just wanted to, seeing as how my daughter just found out she missed 2 club meetings today. I'm not sure where clubs fall under, but for somebody that had struggled, really struggled to find something for their child, it would be useful if there were standards so that people that ran clubs, they all use Google Classroom, maybe they all announce meetings at least 2 days in advance. I'm sure there are standards that could be had out there, because some of our kids can't adapt, and other than me enrolling in high school, which nobody wants that, it's very hard for me to help her manage that situation. So whoever is working on the club scenario. Also on the senior open campus, it sounds wonderful, but again, maybe because it's fresh with me, knowing that my daughter missed an opportunity to participate in something today. But when you do this, think about the kids that are going to be left behind, which would be mine, who won't be driving. And so you have the haves with the cars and licenses that can head off. What happens to the rest that are left behind? Because that is going to be another challenge. And again, I'm having enough challenges right now. So picturing her senior year as everybody streams out and she's left behind is not something I would look forward to whatsoever. On the transition program, and I've had an email teed up to of examples of things that are happening in other towns. I've had an email that I've been meaning to send to Mayor Perry, but I think as it relates to the transition program, and given that our mayor is so active in the community, I just wonder if it would be useful, given that our classification rates exceed 20%, that somebody like the mayor or the township committee could actually help in finding opportunities out there for our kids as it relates to work, jobs, or internship opportunities. Because we do have a lot of kids that are aging out through our system and, in this town. So I don't know if there was something that, the town and the district could look at together.
Just to clarify, and again, you might not even know this, but we have been working with the town, and there has been opportunities through different township sites for kids to work at. And,
great.
Yeah, and then we're continuing, we got those conversations with shared services to continue to expand those programs. And there'll also be meetings with the county after the new year for county parks and stuff like that. They want to have a meeting too about getting our kids involved and stuff. So we are continuing to push.
Keep going.
Yep.
And I agree. I mean, we have a lot of kids that have worked within our district or interned within our district, so seeing them hired is a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vera. Anyone else wish to make a public comment? Just your name and address for the record.
Mark Soporowski, 38 Powell. First off, I want to congratulate you guys on the election, Ms. Glasky. I come here tonight because I still do care about the community quite a bit, and you guys brought up tonight about the arts program for the high school and how you're revamping the middle school electives. I would hope that in the next few months you could look at the elementary schools and their arts programs, because they're severely lacking. Less than 8 hours of instruction for art, for music. And it's kind of embarrassing when the teacher doesn't even know the children's names. And it's not their fault. It's because if there's a program to be cut for the day, they say, well, we'll cut art or we'll cut music today. But yet they have gym 3 times a week. So if you could just take some time over the next few months to look into it, because arts are very important for the kids. Not everybody learns the same way. And arts also provides empathy, and it provides a nurturing environment for the kids that may otherwise have struggles with general academics. And there's some some ways you could potentially do it if you hire full-time music and art teachers at the schools that also have special ed certification, so that when they're not teaching music and art, they're also being utilized. You're getting more value for the dollar as a teacher. And it would be important for the school's communities, because like Navison, for example, where my children go, they don't have a Christmas show. They have a band concert with the instrumental group. But there's something about a sing-along at a holiday time that's memorable for, at least when I was in school. And I talked to other parents, and, getting the community together for something like that is important. And now that COVID's over and we're getting back to normal, it would be nice if you guys could look into that. And I wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
And I just want to mention that we have already started that
That's
audit,
great.
because we do recognize the fact that our arts offerings at the elementary are minimal, and we're going to work hard to increase that. And that was the first step, is auditing what currently exists and how can we work within our current footprint to maximize the time and opportunity that our elementary children get as well.
Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Would anyone else wish to make a public comment? Seeing no one else coming to the microphone, I wish to close the public comment and adjourn the meeting. Motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Merry Christmas, Happy Holiday, and a Happy New Year to everyone.
Merry Christmas, everybody.